You are finally in bed, the lights are off, the room is quiet, and just as your body begins to relax, your brain decides it is the perfect time to replay something embarrassing. You said 5 years ago, complete with vivid detail, upgraded awkwardness, and a level of dramatic emphasis that feels almost unnecessary. It feels random, but it is not random at all. Here is the first fun fact. Your brain treats social embarrassment almost like physical pain, because research published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that recalling socially painful memories activates the anterior cingulate cortex, the same region involved when you experience actual physical discomfort, which means when you cringe at night, your nervous system is reacting as if something genuinely threatening just happened. That seems dramatic, until you remember that for most of human history, social rejection was dangerous, because being excluded from a tribe could reduce protection, access to food, and long-term survival. So your brain evolved to flag socially awkward moments as important data rather than harmless memories. Now, here is the second fun fact. Nighttime is prime processing time for emotional memories, because during REM sleep, the brain consolidates experiences from the day and strengthens memories that carry emotional weight. And sleep researchers like Matthew Walker have shown that emotionally charged memories are prioritized over neutral ones, which explains why your brain chooses the awkward comment instead of what you had for lunch. The third fun fact is slightly unfair but fascinating, because the more self-aware and conscientious you are, the more likely you are to mentally replay social situations, as personality research consistently links higher levels of reflection and social sensitivity with increased rumination, which means your midnight cringe may actually correlate with your desire to improve socially. Another interesting detail is that when your brain replays a memory, it is not simply pressing play like a video file, because memory reconsolidation research pioneered by neuroscientist Karim Nader shows that when a memory is reactivated, it briefly becomes flexible, allowing the brain to modify and update it before storing it again. Which means that each time you revisit that awkward moment, your brain is subtly editing it in an attempt to refine your future responses. This is where the default mode network enters the picture, a system identified by neuroscientist Marcus Reichel that becomes more active when you are resting and not focused on the outside world. And since lying in bed removes distractions, your brain shifts inward and begins simulating alternative outcomes through a process psychologists call counterfactual thinking, essentially asking what you should have said or done differently. What feels like torture is often rehearsal. Here is another surprising piece of the puzzle. Your brain exaggerates emotional memories slightly over time, which means that awkward moment may not have been as catastrophic as your midnight version suggests, but because the amygdala tagged it as emotionally relevant, it gained priority in storage and retrieval. The system is imperfect because modern embarrassment rarely carries life or death consequences, yet your brain still runs ancient survival software that treats social belonging as critical. However, repeated recall can gradually reduce emotional intensity, similar to exposure therapy used in treating anxiety, suggesting that your brain may unintentionally be desensitizing you while it refines your internal social algorithm. And this brings us back to that quiet bedroom, where you are staring at the ceiling wondering why your mind insists on replaying something you wish it would delete. Because the deeper truth is that your brain is not trying to embarrass you, but to improve you. using nighttime silence as uninterrupted bandwidth to optimize future behavior. The fact that you cringe now means you have grown since then, because if the memory did not bother you, it would mean your standards never changed. So the next time your brain decides to screen an old awkward episode just as you are about to fall asleep, consider the possibility that you are witnessing a deeply human maintenance process, one that is slightly uncomfortable, occasionally dramatic, but ultimately designed to make you socially wiser tomorrow than you were yesterday. And that is not mental sabotage. It is evolution doing quality control in the dark. If your brain has ever replayed an awkward moment at midnight, tell me in the comments what your mind refuses to forget. And if you enjoy psychology explained through real research, subscribe for more.